So we created, again, we created a new file, 1500 by 1500 white background, 1500 by 1500 pixels. Please remember that it's pixels, not inches. Okay, I'll do it again and I'll show it again. File new. Okay, so there's somewhere here. So again, we're going to call this from now on U6L1 colored circle, or colored layers. Okay, we're going to call that and then make sure it's a white layer. Press create. Okay, and now you got to create a tic-tac-toe scenario, so you got to do a little bit of math. So let's go ahead and bring this down to, if it's 1500 divided by 3 sections, okay, remember it's not the lines, it's the sections. So first one goes down to 500, and again, I know you can't see it right now, but there it is, 500. Okay, the second one is going to be 1000. Okay, so let's do that, and then, so Amy, you may want to tell Leilani when she gets in here, help her out. Okay, so then also the same thing going across. The first note is going to be 1000. Second one is going to be 500. Okay, so again, it's not an exact science. Close enough. Alrighty, so there we have it. So you should have this scenario. Good? Aileen, you're good? Do you need me to catch you up? You sure? Your what? My podcast. I actually created a podcast yesterday. You know what my podcast topic was in Mr. Hayes' class? How to deal with boring classes. It's on MrHakesClass.com. It's also on YouTube. Huh? Yeah. Of course. Mr. Haig's class. Huh? The what? 1500 by 1500. Okay, so 1500 by 1500. Everybody, if I'm going too fast, please raise your hand, slow me down, okay? It's all good. I don't take offense. Actually, I would take more offense if you guys don't tell me and you're guys way behind. So next thing I'd like you to do is go ahead and create 9 new layers. So on the bottom right here, you see a little plus sign there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so because we got 9 sections. Now what I'd like you to do is just watch me first, okay? And then I should have actually showed you how to do this, okay? I'm going to show you. So by the way, I said 9 circles, okay? You don't have to do circles. You can do also rectangles, you can do stars, you can do blobs, okay? So let me show you really quickly. Alrighty. Now again, I'm going to be grading and offering extra credit for creativity. So if you show me some creativity, all right, that would be a really big kudos, okay? So Leilani 1500 by 1500 over 72, white background. Okay, and we created a tic-tac-toe. All right, so Amy can help her out a little bit, 500, 1000, okay? All right, so like I said before, you can use the circle, you can use the polygon tool. Okay, so if I decide to do a circle, make sure you have the layer selected first. Alrighty, and let me just go ahead and draw, and you can watch before we do this. Okay, so again, here's a circle. Now let me. Okay, so everybody create a circle first. Let's do that. Everybody create a circle first. Okay. Now, normally, I would ask you to select a foreground color and then use the paint bucket tool to fill. I'm going to show you a much simpler way to fill and marching ants. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is, instead of clicking on the paint bucket tool, let's go ahead and click on the marquee tool. Second one up. Okay, that moon kind of reminds me of the astrological or the planetary event that's going to happen tonight. Everybody, make sure you go out. You might see Mars right in front of your, I mean not Mars, Jupiter, right in front of your face. So it'll be the closest Jupiter is going to be. Just in time for the Giants to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and, like I said, if you click on the marquee tool, move the cursor over Okay, everybody good? If you have any questions, please. This time, instead of the paint bucket tool, we're going to right-click. All right, and then we're going to go down to fill. Okay, you good, Leilani? Are you caught up? 1500 by 1500.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and create the guides. Use the guides. So get the ruler out. First one is 500. Second one is 1000. Both going down and going across. Okay. Right now, there you can just hold off on it and just watch. Okay, so fill. Now watch this. Okay, if yours probably start off with foreground or background color, bless you. But if you click on color, watch what happens. You've got the palette there. I can choose a color, press OK again, and boom, it's done. Okay, should I do it again? Okay, no problem. So what I did first, okay, was this time let me use a square. So I'm going to create a perfect square. Then I'm going to, instead of using the paint bucket tool, I'm going to use the marquee tool. Okay, I'm going to move the cursor in here, right click, and then fill. Right click, fill. All right, with the fill, now I can choose color. Now if color is already there, I got to choose it again. If color is already there, I'm going to have to choose it again. And now I've got my fill. Choose a color, press OK. Okay, press OK again. There it is. All right, now you'll see on my layers, it should be there too. Everybody got it? Okay. If you didn't get it, raise your hand. Let me know how I can help you catch up. Okay, yes, sir.
The fill button.
What's that?
The fill.
There's right click. So did you click on the marquee tool?
Yeah.
Did you move it over the marching ants? You got to move it over the marching ants.
Yeah.
Right click, and there's fill right there.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, the fill is gray.
Okay, I'll be right there. All right. So I see you guys are already producing your circles. As I said before, I kind of want a little more creativity component here. So if you guys use this, so now let me show you another thing. Okay, let's go ahead and create, make sure that if you guys want to stick with circles, I'm cool with that. But layer 2, okay, I'm going to show you how to create like another polygon shape. Okay, so let me make sure I'm still recording. So I'm going to go ahead and use the polygon lasso tool right here. Now watch this. I'm going to press and hold. First of all, I got to deselect my previous square here. So I'm going to do Command D or select, deselect. So now my marching ants are gone. I have my layer 2 selected right here. Now I'm going to go over here, and I've selected the polygon tool. Now watch this as I press and hold the shift key. Okay, click here. Okay, look at this. I'm going to go across. Then I'm going to go down. Notice the straightness of everything. Go down. I can go down again and down again. Again, it's not going to be perfect, so I don't expect... So don't worry about having perfect. And at this point, I can double click and everything is there. Now I can right click, fill, and I can choose another color. And then I can choose, let's say, what color should I choose? I see green there, so let's go ahead and choose green. There you have it, okay? Then the next one I'm going to choose, okay, again, deselect by clicking away. Make sure you select the new layer. This time I'm at layer 3 because I'm working on my third column. I'm going to right click, click circle. I'm going to go ahead and click a circle here. Right click, fill, color again. This time I'm going to kind of look for a color. This time I'll choose red. Somehow red circles appeal to me. There we go. Alrighty. So it is now, let's call it 9 o'clock. I'll give you till 9:07, okay, to go ahead and fill all 9. So some of you already finished. You use circles. I kind of want to see a little bit of difference, so see if you can do something there. And by the way, if you want to use the circle tool, as I said before, you can also do an oval shape. See, look at this. I can do an oval shape right here, okay. And then again, I can choose a different color. Let's see if I can find a green. Can't seem to find a green. There we go. Green. Geez, there we go. You got to keep looking. Okay, so edit fill, and then I'm going to choose foreground color because there it is right there. Okay, I can also choose this little guy right here. Just so you know, once I click on the new layer, there's a thing called the lasso tool. Okay, so watch what I do with the lasso tool. Now I'm free to draw anything I want. See, look at this. I can draw a weird shape. There we go. Or I can just kind of like, I don't know, maybe I can come up with a silhouette or something. There's somebody's nose, there's somebody smiling, there's a chin, and then I have it right there. There we go. And, okay, so now I'm going to go to a deep purple. Okay. So right click, fill. Again, I'm going to choose foreground color. Press OK. And by the way, if I did choose, I have two things of the same layer. So I'm going to have to deselect. Use the magic wand tool. The magic wand tool is right here. I'm going to select my guy right here. I'm going to cut him. Command or Control X or Edit Cut. Okay, choose the next layer and then paste. There we go. And of course, what I want to do is get a different color for him. And I might have to resort to the yellow tool or the paint bucket tool. Alright, so go ahead and finish up and see what you can do. If you want to use circles all the way through, that's cool. Okay, so and don't forget, if you have an oval, you can always do a Command or Control T, making sure the layer is selected, Control T, or the free transform tool. Edit, transform, or free transform. For some reason it's not using it, so let me do it again. Alright, let me just do this. Okay, again, once again, make sure that, okay, so I'm working on my last three. And I can come up with a star, you know. And you may want to use, look what I did here. I have one shape going across. And that would mean you have to add a different shape, or a different another layer. Alrighty, one more. So I actually have 10 layers. Okay, I'm done. So again, you can use opacity if you need to, like how I did it. Okay. All right, is everybody good? Caught up? Okay, good. No, we're not done. We will, but we're not done yet. This will probably take us into tomorrow. All right, how many here are needing more time? Okay. Well, let me just explain this part, okay, because it's not going to interrupt. So for those of you still working, keep working. What I'd like for you to do now, okay, watch what I do and then do as you watched. Let's click on the Move tool. Okay, if you click on the Move tool and you move over a layer, let's say a shape, and if you right-click, look at that. It'll tell you what layer it is. Okay? If you do that again, so you can see all that, you can move over all the shapes and it'll tell you, right-click. That's if you have the Move tool. Okay? If you right-click, it'll tell you what layer it is. See, there it is right there. Now in this case, I got a couple of layers, so it'll tell me both layer 9 and 7, because you notice I have a shape right there. Okay, so whichever one, okay? So what I'd like for you to do is using that procedure, okay, right-click and click on layer number 1, and then what you're going to do is instead of layer number 1, double-click inside the layer, and notice you can edit it. So let's call it blue square. So name the color and name the shape. Okay, and I can stay here because I can tell what I have here. So I'm going to double click, I'm going to call it light green circle. So name it all. Then red circle. Surprised I have two circles back to back. Oh, that's not a circle. That's an octagon or polygon. Okay, and then I've got an oval shape right here. So let's say green, and it, you know, there's shades, different shades of colors, just whatever's closest to you, whatever it looks like to you. Bless you. So if you use the free form, I would call it light blue, you know, let's see, I'm going to call it light blue freeform. And then I forget what this one is. This one is, oh, that one is a head. So I'll call it yellow head. All right. So I got like here dark horizontal black bar. I've got red star. I've got purple slanted oval right here. And if you right click on any of these shapes now, it'll take on the color, the name of the layer that you just named. Okay, so if you move it over, you'll see green oval, you'll see light blue, whatever. So whatever you named it, that's the name that's going to assume. So basically just go ahead and do exactly that. All right, it's 9:14, and what I'd like you to do for each and every one of these layers, I'm going to ask that you add a different effect. So focus what I'm doing right now. So if I'm going to choose my upper left layer, okay, which is my blue layer, once again, you press on the move tool up here, right click over, and you'll see that it says blue square. And once you do that, notice that the layer on the right side, it'll go. If you select, like for instance, I select light green polygon, notice that it'll highlight that layer. So as you go down, you'll see that all these are being highlighted. There it is, okay? So if I go down here, the purple one, notice that's being highlighted, okay? So I'm going to go to my first one, which is the blue square. You can go to your first one. And then what I'd like you to do now is add an effect. So let's go to Layer, Layer Style. Layer, Layer Style, and you see all these effects. So the first one, if I go to Drop Shadow, okay, there it is right there. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of play with the drop shadow a little bit. Okay, I can play with this colored wheel here. I can control the opacity of the drop shadow. I can control the distance, okay, and the spread, rather, and the size, okay. So you may want to control all that, and make sure the blend mode for every effect is always on normal. Don't go to dissolve or lighten, then it'll get kind of confusing. Make sure it's normal. Okay, and press OK. There we go. And now you'll see, okay, under the layer, you'll see the effects being displayed. You'll see the effects is going to be listed under the layer. Now I'm going to go to my light green. Okay, I'm going to go Layer, New Layer. I'm sorry, Layer, Layer Style. And this time I'm going to choose Outer Glow. Okay, so actually, you know what? I'll choose Inner Shadow. Let me choose Inner Shadow. And as you can see, the weirdness of that all. I never knew of Inner Shadow, but again, I can control the opacity, I can control the angle. So this is supposed to be Inner Shadow, I suppose. And I noticed that also the other areas also, it shouldn't be affected. But anyway, so you can just do that. There we go. See that? How now I've got a nice little size over there. See if I move the size, see what it does to my shape. So there we go. Okay, so you want to play around with that and then press OK. All right. So and of course, likewise, the effects shows up beneath it. So I know we're kind of pressed for time here. 9:16. Okay, so we got about 10 minutes. That should be plenty of time to finish up to get to the point where we are right now. And so what I'd like you to do is for each and every one of these layers, come up with a different effect. So in this case right here, I'm going to click on my red circle. So go to Layer, Layer Style. And you may want to try Inner Glow, okay? Kind of make it look really cool. I would choose again, try to use colors that you know are going to be contrasty. Okay, so my size could be a little bit better. Okay, I can make it softer or precise. It doesn't matter. Maybe I'll make it softer. Again, I don't know the details of it very well. This is really high-tech stuff. It could, it could be somebody who did this knows what they're doing. I mean, there's different artists for different things. Alrighty, so what I like you to do is just, like I said, go through every one of this. It's the whole purpose is to kind of know what you're doing. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'll talk again in about 5 minutes at 9:22. At that point, we're going to save our work, but we're going to save it on the cloud. That way, if computers are moving around or shifting around, stroke, by the way, gives you a little bit of okay, so stroke kind of gives you'll see also a sample of what they can do. So you can actually increase the stroke a little bit. It could be inside, it could be center, it could be outside. Okay, I'm going to keep it inside and then opacity again. So let's do that. Okay, so we got satin, which is very interesting. And look at satin. Okay, so there we go. Then we got this funny dude here. Right-click yellow head. And like I said, color overlay, I don't know what that is, but it definitely kind of weird. All it does is just... And with this one, with color overlay, all it does is really change the color. And you'll notice this dialog box over here. You can actually choose a second effect. So in other words, I can choose a drop shadow too. See that? So if I click on drop shadow and check it, there's my drop shadow. Of course, I'd have to kind of, make it a bigger size. That's kind of weird. But anyways, like I said, now notice that I've got two effects here. All right, so let's keep moving and try to finish as best we can. Layer, layer style. Okay, so this time we want to have an outer glow. And outer glow here is kind of, again, you want to control the size. Press OK. And if you ran out of layer styles, just bevel emboss. That's a big one. So you can check that out. Okay, bevel. You can choose over here. Just remember, you can choose bevel or emboss, and you'll see the difference. You can choose outer level, inner bevel, pillow emboss, whatever that means, So kind of look at that. It looks like a button almost. Don't worry about pattern yet, although, well, actually, you could use pattern. But basically with pattern, you can choose different kind. We'll go into patterns eventually. All right, so there it is. I'm done. Okay, so, all right, cool, very cool. Now you got a multi-layered object here, multi-layered image that you've created. Looks really good. Okay. So this class is almost over, so I would say it would be a safe bet so you got time to put the computers away. All right, what I'd like you to do now, watch this. Okay, so no matter where you're at, I need you to stop. Okay, I'm sorry. So what you're going to do is make sure you go File, okay, Save a Copy, File, save a copy, and this time you're going to save to cloud. Okay, make sure it shows Photoshop, save to cloud. I repeat, save to cloud, not on your computer, save to cloud. And then I'm going to, whatever they're asking. So now you're going to save it exactly this. U6L1 colored layers. U6L1 colored layers. And then on the bottom right, press save. Okay? I'll keep this here. I think it'd be in our best interest right now to save everything. Okay? Anybody here in the band? Marching band? No? Okay. So make sure it's U6L1 colored circles. Everybody got this? Okay, go ahead and press save. And at this point, you can turn off your computers. Okay. Alrighty, and please be sure to charge the computers. You can quit. It'll ask you to save it,